नहमदुहु व नुसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम अम्मा बाद फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम रब्बना इग़फ़िर ली व लिवालिदैया व लिल मुअमिनीना यौम यक़ूमुल हिसाब सदक़ल्लाहुल अज़ीम। इन्नल्लाह व मलाइकतहु युसल्लूना अलन नबी या अय्युहल्लज़ीना आमनू सल्लु अलैहि व सल्लिमू तस्लीमा। अस्सलातु वस्सलामु अलैका या रसूलल्लाह व अला आलिका व अस्हाबिका या हबीबल्लाह। अस्सलातु वस्सलामु अलैका या रहमतल लिल आलमीन व अला आलिका व अस्हाबिका या नबी अल्लाह। Respected viewers, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The holy month of Ramadan, it is a gift from Allah and it is a guest. So we should honor this holy month of Ramadan. We should respect this guest, because respecting the guest, it is the sign of Iman, it is a sign of belief and faith. And we can respect the holy month of Ramadan by obeying the commandments of Allah and His beloved Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him. Today, I'm going to tell you a story. Such a story which was narrated to the companions of Prophet, peace be upon him, by our Nabi, by our Prophet. Prophet told this story to his companions. Prophet said that there were three persons. They went for a journey. It is from previous ummas, from Bani Israel, from the earlier people. And you know, at that time they didn't invent the cars, aeroplanes were not even invented, and they didn't have motorways. So the people, they used to do journeys by walk. It was very difficult. So while they were on their journey, they came under the rainstorm, the very heavy rain. So they took refuge in a cave. So a stone, a rock slithered and opened the exit of the cave from the front. So now they were stuck in a cave and they didn't expect anybody to come for rescue. So they could see just death on their front. They think that there's no way possible so we can get out of here. And they had a very limited resources for eating. And they struggle to even breathe in that atmosphere. So one of the three persons, he said that nothing will save you from this stone, from this rock, but invoke Allah by your good doings, by your good practices. So he suggested that do dua to Allah by mentioning any of your practice, any of your good and righteous practices. If you have done anything good in your life for the prayer of Allah, for the sake of Allah, then mention it to Allah and then do a dua. This may be accepted. So one person, he stood up and he said, "Oh Allah, oh my Creator, you know well. My parents, they were very old, and this person, he was a shepherd. And oh Allah, I used to offer them milk before my children and before the other members of my family. So this was the respect I had for my parents. Allah, you know, one day I went far away in the quest of green trees. I could not come back in time till it was very late, and my parents, they had gone to sleep. They had fallen into sleep. So when I milked as usual and brought milk to them, so they had gone to sleep, they were fallen asleep. So I hated to wake them up, and also disliked to give milk to my children and other members of family to drink before my parents. And my children, they were crying out of hunger at my feet. But I awaited for their awakening till it was dawn. I just stood up over there and I did not wake them up, and I waited until it was dawn. And my parents, they wake up, they got up, they drank milk, and then afterwards I give milk to my children and other members of my family. Oh Allah, I respected my parents and I did care for them just to seek your pleasure. And if I have done so to your, for your pleasure, for the sake of your happiness, Allah, relieve us from this distress imposed by this stone upon us. When he finished this dua, so the stone, the rock moved a little bit. So then they had a hope. The other person, he stood up. No, it was his turn to mention a good deed, and then for the sake of that good deed to do dua to Allah, the Almighty. He said, "Oh Allah, you know, you my creator, you are the knower of unseen. You know, I had a cousin to whom I loved with the utmost love of a man for women. And once I seduced her, but she refused. But consequently, in a year of famine, when she was in need, she approached me and she wanted to have some money. She was desperately in a need. So I gave her 120 dinar on the condition that she would yield herself to me. And afterwards, when we got together for sexual intercourse, she said to me, O servant of Allah, fear Allah and do not commit this sin. Do not commit adultery. Do not break the law of Allah. Do not open this seal unlawfully. O Allah, as soon she reminded me of yours, I drew away from her in spite of the fact that I loved her most passionately. And I let her keep the money which I had given her. I was just about to commit a sin, and I was just very near to the sin, and she reminded me of you, and I give up. I did not commit a sin just to seek your pleasure. I was afraid of you, and then I repented to you. Allah, if I have done so just to seek your pleasure, then relieve us from this disaster, relieve us from this distress and this trouble. When he finished his dua, so the stone moved a little bit more. So they had a more hope, but they were still unable to get out. The third person, no, it was his turn. No, he stood up. And then he mentioned his good deed. Oh Allah, I hired the services of some laborers and paid them their wages. But one of them, one laborer, he departed without taking what was due to him. And he didn't take his money, he didn't take his wages, and he left. Oh Allah, I invested his money, what was due to him, in a business, and the business prospers greatly. The business, they prospered greatly. And after a long time, the man, the very same man, the laborer, he came back to me and said, O servant of Allah, fear Allah and pay me my due. I said to him, you know, all you see, this land, camels, cattle, horses, slaves, it's all yours. And he thought that I'm joking to him, I'm making fun of him. He said, O servant of Allah, don't make fun of me. I assured him that I was not joking. And then I explained to him that I invested his money, what was due to him, his wages in business, and that it is all because of his his investment. So he took everything and he went away and he spared nothing. Oh Allah, if I have done so to seek your pleasure, to make you happy, then relieve us of this distress in which we are suffering. As soon as he finished his dua, the stone, the rock slipped aside and they got out and walking freely. So this hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it shows that if you are in trouble, so nothing will help you but only your good doings, your good characteristics. They were stuck in a cave. No one was able to help them, but only their good deeds helped them. So brothers, once we'll be in a cave, which is our grave. And when we'll be in our grave, nothing will help us. It only our good practices and our good doings. And secondly, if you are